If you bought Alice in Chains' Dirt in 1992, you knew exactly what you were getting into. The whole record is basically a diary of Layne Staley falling apart. It's bleak, it's heavy, it's an album about dying. But the biggest and most imposing anchor on that record isn't about heroin at all. It's about a guy who refused to die.
Yeah, they come to snuff the rooster.
Jerry Cantrell's dad, Jerry Sr., did 2 tours in Vietnam with the 101st Airborne. He survived the jungle, but you know how those things go. Whatever came back to the States wasn't exactly the same guy who left. Like a lot of combat vets from the era, and came home carrying ghosts he absolutely refused to talk about. The guy was a brick wall. And let's be clear, he didn't just casually walk out on his kids. The environment in that house just got so dark and untenable that the family eventually had to leave for their own survival. Jerry grew up estranged from his old man, holding on to a lot of anger toward a father who had basically checked out. Fast forward to early 1991. Jerry is broke, basically homeless in Seattle, and he's crashing at Chris Cornell and Susan Silver's house. He's up in the middle of the night, trying not to wake anybody up, just messing around on a little 4-track recorder, and he starts writing. But he doesn't write it as the angry, abandoned kid. He does the hardest thing you can do when you're pissed off at your old man. He tries to put himself in his boots. He wrote Rooster. And by the way, Rooster wasn't some badass military callsign he earned in the shit. It was a nickname his great-grandfather gave him when he was a little kid because his hair stuck up in the back. So Jerry writes this slow, 6-minute doom march of a track, and Layne Staley steps up and delivers it with this huge, wounded voice that makes it sound like he was in the jungle himself. But eventually, Jerry actually has to play it for his dad. And you gotta picture this, Jerry Cantrell playing this incredibly heavy, deeply personal track for a hardened combat veteran who hasn't talked about his feelings in 20 years. Jerry Sr. listened, and later told his son, "You got too close. You hit it on the head." The guy actually cried, and that sludgy grunge song ended up saying everything the old man couldn't figure out how to say himself. Then they go to shoot the music video. Mark Pellington, the guy who directed Pearl Jam's Jeremy, brings Jerry Sr. in as an advisor and sits the old man down for a 45-minute on-camera interview. It's the first time he's ever really talked about the war, and it gets so intense that Jerry Jr. actually has to step out of the room. But here's the classic industry bullshit. MTV eventually pulled the video from heavy rotation because the combat footage was too graphic. Think about that double standard. In 1993, MTV's playing videos all day long of drive-bys and bodies dropping for entertainment, but a realistic look at what actual war does to a human being made the suits nervous. Layne Staley even called them out on it later, saying the network just didn't want American kids seeing how badly the government screwed up over there. But honestly, none of that MTV drama mattered in the end, because the song did what it was supposed to do. It bridged a gap that had been sitting there since the 70s. After the song blew up, Jerry Sr. didn't just reconnect with his son, he started coming on tour. You'd have this guy in his 50s who lost his family to a war nobody wanted to talk about, standing on the side of the stage at Lollapalooza. He's watching his kid play a song about his darkest nightmares, while 50,000 kids in flannel shirts scream his nickname back at the stage. You really can't write a better ending than that.